Keeping venomous reptiles is an unforgiving hobby, requiring proper training and lots of experience. One simple mistake can be the difference between life and death. Remember, the most venomous snake in the world is the one that just bit you. There are no venomous snakes with training wheels. Just because you see viperkeeper handle snakes a certain way does not mean you should try it too.
Alright, today what we're doing, and shuffling cages, cleaning cages is an absolute common occurrence here at the Lair. Usually I spare you all the details. I just show you snippets, but cleaning cages, moving snakes around, dealing with snakes with some problems, feeding snakes are all the things that happen in the Lair. So right now what we're going to do is, I've got 2 Congo water cobras in here, and when you have 2 snakes in the same cage that aren't positive feeders, what I mean by positive is I can introduce food to either one and they'll take it right off the tongs. They're sort of sneaky feeders that you throw fish in there, you throw some rat pinks in with it, and somebody's eating something, but I have no idea to measure how much each is feeding, and I don't want one snake gobbling it all and the other snake not getting any, so the easiest thing to do is separate them, and this way I can really monitor their sustenance. So the first thing I'm going to do is, this cage is all cleaned, ready to go. So I'm going to take the water dish out. I'm going to clean it, the inside, not the outside, just to take down the biofilm load and the bacteria. Move it up there. Then I'm going to move both water cobras up here. Then we're going to refurb this cage, get a fresh clean water dish, put it in there. Then I'm going to move one of the cobras back down. These guys are generally not too happy to see me. They really behave like cobras. So some care needs to be taken, and actually when I clean their water dish, usually Lori or somebody stands guard, because the water dishes don't fit through the glass, so you have to remove them. So somebody has to make sure that these slippery little water cobras don't slip out of the cage into the room, and I don't know that because I left the room. It's really a bad idea to leave a door open when you leave the room. However, I've been known to do that by accident because I got distracted with a phone call or something else. It's very sort of unsettling when you come into a room and see 2 Jameson Mambas sitting on top of a cage looking at you like, hey, look where we are.
No, there was a snoot there, but it's retracted.
Yes, these guys are very shy little snakes, and okay, we didn't really get off to a good start when they arrived, because they weren't eating and it was necessary to feed them, so I fed them forcefully, and that set up a very bad relationship. They're getting better though. They're a little bit less frightened of me. Give them a little water just to get them started. We'll top that off later. So now I am going to remove their cover, which is not going to make them happy. Hello. And I will shift this. Guys, I know, I know. I see you. I will say, got to make sure which end is which before you grab it. He's looking a little bit, that's the male, a little bit more filled out and a little bit longer. So we will let him go in there. Whoops. He's like, no, you can't look at my junk and put it on TV. This is the female. The female is more or less patternless. Come on. Come on, I don't want to play snake hockey. I know you have that look in your eye. See?
Yep.
Whoa. Okay. You always remember, the shorter the snake, the quicker its head can come up and visit you. Hello. Go on in. Come on. I'm not interested in playing snake hockey. Go in the damn cage. Come on.
Yep. I want to go in the cage.
Just like a female,
I was
huh?
going to say, this is a typical female. They are much more difficult than the males.
Do it with the tongs?
Well,
There,
I was
like that.
thinking about that, but and you can see that that's a typical female tail profile. It drops off quite rapidly. So we can now shut the cage. Hello. Yes, yes. We're going along full hood, mouth open. I know. Come on. Here, I can do this. Oh, yes. Yes. Hello, girlie. Yes, we're not happy to see me, are we? Huh? I'm sorry. I don't like to disturb you guys, but this was necessary. Because you steal the male's food right out of his mouth and vice versa. So we don't want that happening. So we're going to shut the door and let her dissipate her anger. And what I think I'll do is later is I'll move the male because he's a lot easier to work with. She can stay there. All right, so the other cage is all tricked out and what I'm going to do is since the male was easier to move, hello, I'm going to move him. Good. Let's see how this new tongue from Gentle Giant works. I'm not really putting a whole lot of force. Come on. Certainly felt like it was an easy task moving the guy. Now we'll just, female is routing around in the substrate. So everybody looks reasonably happy. So male has his original hut. This one's got the original water dish. So each has something that smells or tastes familiar. And I'll label the cages up. And I will not feed them, try to feed them today. I'll try to give them something to eat tomorrow. And we'll see how they do. Well, Miss Vine Snake is going off to a new home where there's males and actually another female. So we're gonna put her in a, as I said to Dan, a low security transport container. It's not like she's highly venomous like other things that we keep. I will miss her, but I really, really like every animal to breed if at all possible. Hi. Yes, I know you want to go up. I know you want to go up. Huh? So, okay, this is a not so venomous creature. Huh. There you go. Go. Gooser.
Go, go, go.
Okay.
Whoop! Oh, you're squishing her little nose.
Alright, get your tail under there. Alright. We try not to traumatize our snakes, but sometimes things happen. So, she's going off. She arrived here as a baby, I think, what, in 2011 or 12 or something? She's all grown up and probably a breeding size, although I wouldn't want to, you can breed most any snake. However, the real challenge is getting the babies to thrive. And those are going to be small babies. They're
actually kind of big.
Really?
The last two babies were big. They
Were-
were taking full-size guppies right out.
Wow. I'm
Nice.
shocked. Okay, well then they may not have a large brood.
Yeah, no, there was two babies.
Just two babies, larger size. Okay, well, I've never seen them. These arrived really on the small side, so we're going to put the lid on. Hopefully not catching any of your body parts again, young lady. And we're going to send you off to where you can hopefully breed, because I like all the animals that come through here to have the opportunity to reproduce. And we will wish her a fun journey, and I'm sure we'll hear, since he's a local guy that's got vine snakes, and we'll know if she successfully produces babies or not. So today what I'm going to do is, Mr. Keelback there is eating like a hog, but really doesn't seem to be growing so much, either in length or in girth. He's just ravenous all the time, which concerns me, because for the longest time, I've been giving him, fish, minnows, that sort of thing, and those are live and they have parasites, unlike the lab-grown, frozen thawed mice, which it also takes quite nicely now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to weigh it while I clean out its bin, and then with the weight I can calculate a dose of Pancure, a worming agent, and give him a couple of doses of that, injected into small mice, frozen thawed things that it could eat, and see if that fixes the problem. After 2 or 3 doses of that, I'll collect the fecal sample and see what's left, and go from there. So first thing that we need to do is get a weight on the tub, because obviously Mr. Keelback is not going to sit on the scale. I've learned that a long time ago. So 362 grams, so let me... So the tear weight is 62. So now we can attempt to get Mr. Keelback in here without him flipping and flopping all over the floor. Hey bud, oh you got, I know, I fed you a nice mouse yesterday. Come on. And you can see that his feces has generated a lot of flies. Of course we don't like those flies. Okay, so he's in there. 406 is the number to remember. And then if we subtract one from the other, we know how many grams he weighs, and from there I can calculate a dose. 406. So he can chill in there for the next couple of minutes while I clean out his cage, and I see lots of pupa. Yeah, this is an active fly colony here. Actually, what I'm going to do is inspect this, and as I suspected,
It's going to need to soak.
yeah, we're gonna replace that and give him another one. But this this whole cage is gonna go down and have a bout of Clorox with it. So what we'll do next? Let's get a piece of paper towel. Snakes just seem to be prone to attracting these flies. Others, not so much. But fortunately, I have a spare that's empty right now that I can put substrate in. So I'll be right back. Since keelbacks are basically swamp sort of snakes, I try to provide a little bit more moist environment than some other species. So this substrate is, damp, and I make sure he gets sprayed down periodically. His water dish, which currently has some maggots in it, will end up in Clorox.
This is the snake that is both venomous and poisonous. And you can see he had a nice big meal yesterday.
As I heard Mrs. Viperkeeper mention, the snake is both venomous and poisonous. And the reason is the prey items they feed on are frogs and toads. Then these special glands in its neck, called nuchal glands, where the orange warning bands are, sequester those toxins absorbed from the blood and produce an exudate if the snake is grabbed around the neck by a predator, these poisons don't taste very good and actually, can kill the predator. Some of these toxins actually end up in the venom glands, where the venom, I know I'm touching you, I'm sorry. The venom glands produce a very hemorrhagic venom that will actually kill people. It's so potent. It's like wound-slaying venom. It causes consumptive coagulopathy, and if you can't clot and you start bleeding and oozing out all your capillaries, you end up dead. Now he's behaving quite nicely. Hopefully he's not too upset. I don't necessarily put the cork bark in there as a hide. I put the cork bark in there for an abrasive surface for them to start and continue their shedding, because if they rub along the smooth walls, that's not giving them much ability to remove their shed. So we're going to let him warm up because he's got that big lump in his belly, and we'll check a little later to see and make sure that he didn't cough up his big meal there. But that's Mr. Keelback. At some point I will I'll give him a dose of Pancure and we'll continue the video when that comes. But right now he's got stuff in his gut and I don't want to overload it because I just disturbed him. So in a few days we'll give him some Pancure.